Hey everyone, it's Ed with Slow Car Fix, and today it's going to be a busy day. This video is going to be a busy video. I am working on getting the frame for my 55 Chevy under my 55 Chevy. Okay, welcome back. I haven't put a video up in a little while. Did a nice little vacation again. Celebrated my birthday in California. So check out at the end of the video, I'm gonna post some, add some pictures of the cars that I saw just cruising down the street. It's just insane in California. For a guy coming from Ontario, Canada to see that, just nuts. Let me show you what's going on around here. This may look like more of the same, but it's not more of the same. Well, it is more of the same. There's the 6-liter out of the, whatever that truck is called. And that truck is gone, that's good. Frame that needs to be wire wheeled and painted. Here is the shell of the car. What's left on my list here? To get the body on the frame, I have to do a toe board patch, which I haven't done yet. Frame clean and paint, which is gonna happen today. Weld the frame brace. Change my plan on that. Paint the car floor. Ooh, yeah, gotta do some of that. What I have done, I'll show you. So I have deleted the spare tire holder, whatever you want to call it. Underneath, man, I spent a ton of time. You can't really tell, but I spent a ton of time underneath this car, removing all the undercoat. The best way to do that is with fire. I removed it with, I used my little yellow torch, and on the recommendation of a viewer, thank you. And I scraped it. Man, it was a lot of work. So anyways, that's all done. So I have to seam seal underneath, do some painting underneath, and I have to paint some of the frame because the goal is, I have some help coming today, and the goal is to have the body on the frame in this video, whether that's today or tomorrow, I'm not sure. We might be doing that with some wet paint, but I don't care. Now, some of you that have watched my recent video, my most recent video, will notice that the plan was a little up in the air for what I was gonna do to the frame before I put it in the car. Let's talk about that just for 1 second. I was toying with, just pausing here, getting the 6-liter ready, which means cleaning, degreasing, removing all the manifolds, installing the Top Street Performance oil pan, which I have to buy still, prepping that whole engine to be installed, which all needs to be done. Also, I was gonna buy some mounts. Let's talk about that for a second. So I posed a question last time, should I put this in the frame before I put it under the car? The answer to that question is absolutely I should. I should also do all the suspension, I should also do all the brake lines and all that stuff, but I have a very good reason to not do that. So I'm not doing it. Some people said I should do that so I can see where the trans fits in the tunnel. Now, I'm not worried about that because I'm buying a specific set of mounts that are for an LS engine and a 55 Chevy, and it says that there will be no tunnel modifications required. I don't know if I believe that, but that's a brand new floor pan. I'm going to modify the frame before I modify that floor pan. I shouldn't say the frame, the mounting locations. So these mounts are apparently bolt-on mounts. I haven't got them yet. I haven't pulled the trigger on them. I'll tell you why in a minute. But yeah, so that's why, or that's what I would have to do to get this engine in this chassis. I'd have to strip all the crap off it, degrease it, get it all ready, change the pan, probably get in to start to do the front accessories, which I do need to do, and then buy all the mounting gear to put it in this chassis. The other thing that I was talking about doing was a shock tower brace. I was going to do a brace across here, which is probably a good idea. However, the one thing that I did notice when I was scraping underneath this car. Everyone says you do the shock tower brace because the mounts where the shocks mount on the body of the car, it's poor design. They changed it in 58, I believe. Maybe even in 58. And it cracks around the holes where the shocks mount. Of all the crap on this car and how junky this car is, those shock mounts are perfect. Very weird. So, I did some measuring. I decided that I was going to build one. I'm not going to build one. I'm just going to install it stock in the stock mounting location. I guess if I'm really worried about it, I could weld in an extra plate on the top for a little bit of rigidity. I know there's other reasons too. People say it's a little louder with that and all that, but this car's going to be full of sound deadening. I'm just not worried about it, so I'm not going to do that. The other thing is the suspension and stuff. I know the direction I'm going with the suspension. I've got a very expensive cart at Speedway Motors built that I haven't pulled the trigger on, and I'm not going to do. I'm not going to paint the leafs or anything like that at the rear end at this point, and I'm not even going to change. Like I noticed somebody said that the shackles are in backwards on this frame. I'm not worried about that because ultimately I'm going to change all that. I am going to stay with leafs. I'm just going to go with lowering leafs. I'm probably going to go with this rear end with a posi center section. So, but I'm not. That all has to come out. That will come out after. People mentioned about running the brake lines. Yes, I should run the brake lines on the chassis before I put it under the car. However, I'm very fortunate. I have this scissor lift. I also have some 4-post lifts on the other side of the shop. I can wheel the car over there and run them all overhead. I'm not crawling on my back to do it, so I don't need to do that. Now, the urgency, the reason why I want to do this. I have other cars. So I need this space. I got to get the frame under the car so that way I can get another car in here to be able to do a couple things to it, because my bug interior is ready. And I have to do some fixing on my bug before I can put the interior in, put new carpet in, all that stuff. So I would like to do that in this space because there's some welding I got to do. So that's the rush for that. Why am I not spending the money on the car right now, on the 55? Let's talk about that. Okay, my help just arrived, but my 66 Corsa up there. In my last video I mentioned that I think I got off lucky on the engine rebuild, or on the engine repair. It is a rebuild. I did not get off that lucky. I thought it might be a small fix. As it turned out, it's a very big fix, very expensive fix. I also have the looming interior that I'm picking up today for the bug. So got a few things on the go. I'm just going to pause on the purchases for right now for the 55 and save that until after the dust settles on spending money on these other cars. This is Eric. We call him Paul for short. Eric's going to be doing this wire wheeling, and we just noticed that it stopped raining for a minute. So we're going to wheel this thing outside so we're not making a giant mess in the shop. And what are you going to do?
Wire wheel it and paint it.
You heard the man. So he's going to do that. We've got the death wheel, and I got some work to do under the car with some seam sealing and sealing some seams. And we're hoping we're going to knock this off today.
Keep on driving and driving along the road tonight. Lost my head over my back between the jars and bottle jack. Just me and all the red lights. Keep on driving and driving. and keep on driving and driving along the road tonight. Lost my head over my back between the jars and bottle jack. Just me and all the red lights. Keep on driving and driving. All the memories just lingers on repeat like it is never gonna stop. I can't help myself from feeling all alone. But you got me good, or you got me good.
You're looking like you're pretty well done, man.
Yep, pretty much done.
So I got to do some welding here. This is where the factory welds were, and there's some punkiness and holes and stuff. So I'm gonna clean that up when young Paul here is doing under the floor where I just seam sealed. We should probably wheel this thing back in before it starts raining.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty good.
It didn't really take that much.
No. Well, that's good. Yeah, and then like I said, when we're painting it, paint where the mounts go first, because the paint dries pretty quick. But I imagine it'll be if we're trying to jam this all together, the paint's gonna be tacky. But
Okay.
all right, I'm gonna do a little show and tell inside here, and then I guess we can wheel this back in
Yep.
whenever you're
I
ready.
think we got it all.
Yeah.
Got it all underneath.
Yeah.
There's just one spot right here.
Oh, in the back there. You might have to get that with a brush. Yeah. Okay. And like I said, we don't got to worry about this or anything, because I'm going to take all this off after.
Yeah.
And then the rear end's coming out later when it's bolted to the car, and the front suspension's all coming off. So really, we just need to get it, yeah, to like right here somewhere, because the front mount is here. So, but we should probably get it inside before it rains too much. Okay, I'll show you quickly what I've been up to. I've been sealing seams. So it may look excessive, but anywhere under here that had a weld or a seam, like my seam from my new floor to the old floor, I layered it with that seam sealer stuff, brush on seam sealer, because I don't want it to rust. So we're gonna paint over that with this DOM 16 Dominion Sure Seal 16 paint. And it will all look like, I'll throw some texture on it after, and it'll look like my inner fenders here, where, you know, that's got some seam sealer on the seam, and you can't really tell. So you can see my new spare tire fill thing. And then I seam sealed all along where I added that last 10 inches of floor, and then that back brace all the way across there. I did a little patch in here in the floor, so it's got some, I think we're gonna be pretty good. Yeah, you can see how it looks, you know, it's gonna look like something like this under here. So, yeah. I better go help young Paul here. Young Paul there. Cool. Fire at home. All right. So I'm gonna get the paint. This is a seam sealer that I used. Showed it in some of my other videos. It's just not sponsored because I'm not that important. Dominion Sure Seal stuff I like. It's reasonable. It's got a Canadian flag on it, so maybe it's from Canada. Yeah, it says it is. Made in Canada. So anyways, I like this stuff. I like it better than the caulking gun stuff. I've only just discovered this and it's fantastic. So I use that, and then I'm gonna use DOM 16 for the, with disposable brushes for the underside of the car and for the chassis. So this stuff, DOM 16, this is gonna be Paul's new best friend. You gotta wear gloves because the only thing that takes this off is time. You don't have to mix it, you don't have to do anything, you just brush it on. It's hard and it's good. So let me show you what we're doing there, Eric. You may want to run a broom in here first before you come and sit down, but look at the guy, brand new Carhartts coming to work here. He's wearing brand new Carhartts. They're gonna last about 5 minutes. So Paul, you can see that I seamed some seals. Sealed some seams. That's it. So you're just gonna brush over this stuff. I think what we'll do is you might get before we get too carried away, you might get your friend that wire wheel again and take these stickers off. There's a couple of stickers there. And I think we'll take the paint as far as these braces. Okay. Also, you can see where I've seam sealed the inner rockers. Yeah. So we're gonna have to, anywhere where it's gray, it's gonna have to get coated with some of that brush on paint stuff. And then the underside here, I'll do later with like a spray on textured stuff. Okay. When I can get it on the 4-post lift. Okay. And then what I'm gonna do is, after you do the brush on stuff that goes here, anywhere where there's seam seal, just to try and make it a little fancier, I'm gonna spray on some of that textured stuff, just like I'll do a shot across. That's what I did on the wheel wells, and it seemed to work pretty well. Okay. So you've got, you know, basically from these braces all the way back and up to and including all this, like right to this lip here. Okay. So that'll take you a minute. I'm not worried about getting paint on the floor here, but because I've already ruined this. But when we're painting the frame over there, we'll try not to get paint on the floor too much. And then I'll weld those spots on the frame while you're doing this. Perfect. There you go, team effort. Hello, we're here. Have a look at this guy's face. This is why you gotta be careful with paint. He's got it on his eye, not in his eye, but on his eye. And that's this Por 15, not Por 15, but the same sort of stuff, DOM 16. And the only thing that takes that off your skin is time. And young Paul here's got it on his face. He has to go out for dinner tonight, and I'm getting a kick out of it. Anyway, so the frame is all painted. He still has some spots to do. We were just working on it, but he's still got a little bit of stuff to do. It's kind of tacky, but the majority of it's done. We had lunch, and I'm gonna start getting ready to support the body so we can roll the frame back while Eric looks after, you know, like in here and stuff, and a few little spots that we didn't get to yet. Obviously, I'm gonna do the front after, just in the essence of time, and once I pull all that front suspension off, then I'll paint all that before the cross member and all underneath those control arms and everything when that's all apart. Okay, wow, this looks good. So this is underneath. You can see it's been painted, it's been seam sealed, then painted. And then we sprayed some rubberized undercoat here and there, just lightly, just to texture it, and on the spots where it's been seam sealed. So that way you get this nice kind of wrinkle finish. So it's not gonna look correct, but at least it looks like it's meant to be. You know, I put a little bit on the one-piece floor. And what I'll do is when the car is on a 4-post lift, I will paint underneath there with that, just go over it with that rubberized, just like what we've done here. You can see that where I've welded the inner rockers, I've seam sealed all that and then sprayed that with rubberized. Or it was painted and then we sprayed it with rubberized, and I have to continue on down here because down there it's just seam sealed. I still have to do that. I'll do that while Eric's finishing things up. And then we've got to get the back of the car supported on stands and the front of the car supported with the gantry crane. Okay, it's that time. Not that time that you've all been waiting for, but the time that I've been waiting for anyway. I'll show you what's going on. We have a 55 Chevy that's just sort of hanging out. I have the back supported as I did when I took the body off. The back supported with the stands. You can see it's just supported on that rail, sort of right where you'd support it if it was on a rotisserie or something, or you'd support it from that back brace. So it's all the same sort of thing. I gotta now put my little precarious strap from here over to there, pick the front with the chain fall, and then we're gonna lower the hoist down. And when we lower the hoist down, we're gonna roll this frame in, and it's gonna be kind of a pain in the butt because we're gonna be a lot of back and forth. I'm expecting that this is not gonna go that easy because this isn't gonna be where we need it to be. I need to put this on the scissor lift and then lift the chassis up to the car. The problem with that is that lining everything up. So I'm expecting that we're gonna have to lift it up, see where it is, lower it down, adjust it, put it back up again. And it's gonna be an exercise. It'll be a back and forth about 47 times. What do you think, Paul?
Yeah, it's probably gonna take a while.
Yeah, it might take a minute. So that's what we're gonna work on, and we're gonna start on that now.
it. Let's see.
Simple, easy does it. Oh, hey. That's it, it's hanging. Everything look cool?
Looks like
Car didn't break in half yet?
it. No.
It's probably good. Okay. Okay. Now, these guys, one for you. New body mounts. Don't get your hands in the way. Let's just try. You want to roll the head. You want to roll it back some? Now, what's the first one that's going to touch? Well, it's not that bad, you know. Okay, so fortunately, this chassis is actually really easy to slide. Maybe it's all that fresh paint. It's really easy to slide on the lift. So we can slide it a bit side to side. It's not going to be as bad as I thought it was. So we're going to take it up a little bit and try and line up all the mounts. Because you can see there's a lot of mounts on this thing. So it's going to be a very slow and tedious trial and error kind of deal. But I don't think it's going to be that bad. So I'll take it up a little bit, Eric, and then look at all the shop I get back. I'll take it up a little bit, and then we'll maybe just tweak it just a little bit side to side and just kind of see where we're at. And what we want to do ideally is have it close enough where we can get all the bolts in loose and be able to thread them all in by hand. And then we'll tighten everything up. And the nice thing is we can adjust if we want the front to touch down, right, because we can adjust that with a chain. But we just got to be careful that at this point, when it's still not quite on the chassis, that we don't get in the way or bump the car so we end up dead. That wouldn't be good. Dead's probably not good.
No, probably not.
How are we? You want to go up more?
Yeah, I gotta go up a little bit more. Yeah, you still got like 3 inches. A little bit more? Yeah, that's probably good.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, it does look good.
Great. Lift the back some.
Yeah, it goes this way.
Okay. Oh yeah, I can see it here. You want to come give me a hand here, Eric? Look at the bolt. See the bolt?
Oh, yeah.
This one. Donuts in the hole on this side. So we're not too far off here. I don't want to open this trunk yet until the weight's on the car, because the trunk kind of holds things square when it's closed. How's it under there? Everything kind of looks like it's going to line up. So we can probably come down a little bit now and just try and get it real close, and then or sorry, come up a little bit on the chassis, and yeah, and then start trying to put some bolts in gently once it's closer. Because then even if for whatever reason, if the body came off the stands or whatever, it's only going to go as far as the chassis. But I'd like to get that gap a little closer, so if it did come, it'll come like a half an inch, not 3 inches. If the body fell 3 inches, that would probably be scary. So I'll bring the chassis up a little bit. You ready?
I think the camp. Yeah.
More?
Yeah, more. Keep going. A little bit more. Yeah, that's good.
I'm just looking at those mounts there. Okay. I guess we can start to try and get some bolts in. So those other donuts that are in that box, they go on the bottom side of these, I think. Okay. And that's where those other washers go. Okay. Yeah, so the front's sitting on the pads up here. So that's where these donuts here go on the other side of those mounts. And then this washer, and then these bolts on from the bottom up. We gotta watch because they're different lengths. Okay. The square, that big square one.
Yep.
Is for here, so we don't need that right now. But the rest of them we're probably going to need. I don't know why these long ones are in here. Maybe I just used them to line it up. I can't remember. But yeah, okay. Well, let's see what we can do here. and I'll pull it up. I'll put it up and you can take those stands out. You just kick the bottom towards the front of the car. It has to be down on the ground to tighten it anyways. To torque it, you gotta have the weight on the wheels. There you go, it's a car, man. Okay, two have become one. The body is on the frame. What we're gonna do now, because we still need to slide the body, like we've got a couple of bolts in, but we're having trouble, it's just a little misaligned. So what we're gonna do is roll the thing ahead. It has to be on its wheels anyways for us to torque the body down. So what we're gonna do is roll the body and roll the car ahead. I guess it's a car now. Roll the car ahead so we're clear of the lift. And that way we can move the body around a little bit side to side with a pry bar if we have to, just to try and get all the bolts. So we have them all in loose. And then once we have them all in loose, we can progress to torquing. So let's bring this thing ahead there, Paul.
Great.
This is the closest it's been to its engine. All right. Okay, so we're done for today. We're not done. I got a lot of cleanup to do now that I have most of the shop back together. It was a little tricky getting everything to line up. We got it close. We got a couple lined up and knew that the body was close enough, so then we could drop the body back down, the whole car back down, and then work a little safer with it on its wheels. And then we got everything down and torqued it to spec, whatever spec is. And I think it's good. Everything's straight and square and all that kind of stuff. So we just kind of used up the rest of the paint here to do the front, and you know, but the car is back on the chassis. Got a lot of mess to clean. My trunk is closed. It's right where I left it. Cap's not bad, didn't move too much. Got a little adjustment to do over here, nothing crazy. And you know, car's all squared away. So now I can go ahead and carry on with things like getting the trunk to fit properly, stripping all the paint, adjusting the door gaps, that sort of thing, doing the metal work that I need to do around the door gaps. And Yeah, not too bad. What do you think, Paul?
That looks pretty good. What do you say? Like, share, and subscribe.
There you go. I don't even have to say it. He said it for me. Thanks everyone for watching, and check out my other videos. Hopefully it won't be that long until the next one, maybe next week. And we'll be back probably with some Volkswagen stuff. I gotta do that, I gotta get my interior in it. Now that you stuck till the end, I'm going to include pictures of cars that I randomly saw in California on the road. Thanks, see ya.